Hi everyone! Thank you for inviting the Cleveland Public Library to be a part of your parent meeting today. My name is Maria and I'm a children's librarian in the Youth Services Department of the Main Library. Today, we will be talking about how you can help your child develop academic readiness skills by focusing on the 5 early literacy practices developed by the Every Child Ready to Read campaign. I'll also share with you some fun book suggestions that you can read with your child at home and go over some of the programs that the library offers for our younger learners. At the end of this presentation, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact any of our library locations, including our Youth Services Department at 216-623-2834. Now let's begin by talking about the 5 early literacy practices. When we say early literacy skills, we mean the skills that will help a child learn to read when they start teaching them in school. For example, letter recognition or knowing the way to hold a book and understanding that text within a book has meaning. To develop these skills, we focus on what are known as the 5 early literacy practices, which are talking, writing, reading, playing, and singing. Let's start with talking. Talking helps children learn their language, whether it be one or multiple. It's a way for them to learn vocabulary and make connections between what they see and what they are hearing. When children are ready to start learning to read, they can better recognize a word if they have heard it before. So if you're wondering what to talk about, you can actually talk about anything. For example, it can be narrating what you are doing in the moment, such as cooking, or it can be describing your day. Even if your child is an infant or toddler, speaking to them as if you're having a conversation with another adult or an older child helps them learn and develop their vocabulary and social skills. Now let's talk about writing. Writing and reading go hand in hand. When we say writing, it doesn't necessarily mean writing out formal words. It can be drawing or scribbling. Those squiggly lines and pictures drawn actually have meaning to your child, and they use them to make connections. They learn that words on a paper have meaning, and they can connect that meaning to what is spoken. This early literacy practice is also about helping to develop your child's fine motor skills. So some of the activities you can do include spraying shaving cream on the plate and letting the child trace the letters in the shaving cream. It can get a little messy, but it is a fun activity. Alternatively, you can also use Cheerios or beads to help them form the letters. They can also trace letters in the sand, and you can also have them practice holding a crayon or pencil. Now reading. Reading to children encourages them to become readers themselves. Children will likely model your behavior as you read them books. For example, they can learn which way to hold the book and which direction text is read. Reading to them out loud also helps build their vocabulary and gives them a chance to learn words they may not normally hear in regular conversation. Now playing. Playing is the main way that children learn about the world around them. It's another way for them to make connections between what they are seeing, hearing, and doing. When children play, they can also be incorporating other practices just like talking and singing and even writing. And finally, singing. Singing also helps children learn new words and remember them more easily through rhyme and repetition. It may be easier to remember words through a familiar melody or tune. Songs can also include finger plays, which help them develop their fine motor skills. Now, if you're wondering what a finger play is a song that also uses hand motions. So, for example, think Itsy Bitsy Spider or head, shoulder, knees, and toes. Now I'd like to share with you some of my favorite picks for story time. The first book I'd like to share with you is called Do Crocs Kiss by Selena Yoon. Now this is an example of a board book. A board book is one of the type of books that we typically recommend for younger kids. It's thicker and the pages are also more durable, so it's a little easier for the little hands to grasp onto if they also want to play and move around with it more. One of the reasons I like this book is because it's also very interactive. It's known as a lift the flap book, so as you go through the story, the child has the opportunity to lift the flap and see what's underneath. My second recommendation is also another example of a board book. This one is called Gotta Go Buffalo, written by Kevin and Haley Myers. Again, this is also a lift the flap book. This is a fun one. It doesn't have too much text, but it's still good for vocabulary development. And it is a lift the flap book, so they can go through the book and interact with it and have fun looking at the different surprises. The third book is what's known as a picture book. Now, picture books are a little bit different than board books. They're typically 32 pages in format, They're not as sturdy, but they still can be pretty thick. As picture book implies, the illustrations tend to be one key feature that the kids can focus on. This is also what's known as a concept book because the title is called Swallow the Leader, a counting book written by Dana Smith. So it's a book that focuses on counting, but the kids can also focus on different aspects of it. For example, you can point out the different colors, the different fish, and the expressions. The illustrations are done in shapes that can be very appeasing to the younger ages. Another book is called Hooray for Fish. This one is written by Lucy Cousin. Now, this one is not a concept book, but the illustrations are very bright and large and colorful. Again, I think this is a book that would attract the little one's eyes, and you can focus on different features, whether it be the colors themselves or the shapes that make up the illustrations. And my final pick is called The Serious Goose by Jimmy Kimmel. This one does have a little bit more text, but I think this is another fun interactive book for the kids because the whole point of the book is for them to try and get the goose to smile. So even though you may not necessarily have to focus on all of the text, you can point out the illustrations, talk about facial expressions, what it means to be happy, mad. There's many ways that you can apply this book. And for more recommendations, we always provide a monthly juvenile young adult book request form. It's broken down by ages, and you can see what is the latest available for younger kids. You can also check out our program guides. The fall program guide is currently available for kids, teens, and families. These will list all the programs going on throughout the different libraries. And finally, I'd like to just go over some programs for the younger learners. First is Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. All children in the state of Ohio, ages birth to 4.5, are eligible to receive a free book each month delivered to their home. Families can enroll in this program using the URL ohioimaginationlibrary.org. They can also enroll in person at any CPL library where paper forms are available. Another program that's offered by the Cleveland Public Library is the Young Scholars Academy. There's 2 levels. There's the beginner level, which is children ages 3 to 4 who are not entering kindergarten in 2023, and transitional, which is for children ages 4 to 6 who are in kindergarten or entering kindergarten in fall of 2023. To register, you can go to our website under the Kids section, which is located under the Kids and Teens tab. There is also a new program for 0 to 3. This program is being developed. It will focus on programs and events designed especially for this age group and their caregivers. For more information on this program, please call 216-623-7114. We also offer what are called early literacy calendars. Every month there is a new calendar which features the 5 early literacy practices mentioned earlier. Each day there is an example of an activity that can be done to emphasize that practice, and we also offer early literacy kits that can be checked out. For example, this early literacy kit is all ready for preschool. It contains activities that the child can use to prepare themselves for preschool. And lastly, there is also story time available at the different Cleveland Public Library branches. Please contact your local branch or main library for more information on dates and times. All programming and dates and times can be viewed online through the online events calendar. You just have to go to our website, cpl.org, and it's located under the Events and Classes tab. Thank you again for inviting us to be a part of your parent meeting. We hope you've enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact any of our CPL locations, including the Youth Services Department at Main Library. Also, please follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a good day.